Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful meeting of our Meridian Toastmaster. Today, I was not expecting it to be gloomy because I'm a sun person, even though I love snowboarding. I do enjoy the sun as well. So, before we start our meeting, I have a couple roles I like to call up, and one of them is the joke master, which is me. To add some levity and excitement to our meeting, I'm going to give a couple of jokes. Joke number one. What did the golfer bring? Why did the golfer bring two pairs of pants?
Because it was a two-part.
In case he has a hole in one.
Oh, that's good.
All right. Joke number two. Why don't scientists trust atoms?
Oh, this one, they make up everything.
Because we do make up everything. Awesome. Thank you for the answer, and thank you again, everybody, for joining us. So, to continue our meeting, we have some roles I like to call up. And our first role is our grammarian. And the grammarian for today is Bucky. Bucky, can you explain to us what your role is?
I certainly can. My role as grammarian, and it says grammarian, but they combined the counter with grammarian. So now it's grammarian is to introduce the word of the day and encourage its use by speakers, evaluators, and table topics participants. I will note who uses the word of the day or a derivative of it correctly or incorrectly. You get pluses or minuses. I will also listen for word usage and note any awkward misuse or spectacular use of the English language. I will note words and sounds used as a crutch or pause filler, such as and, well, but, and by anyone who speaks during the meeting. And I will give my report at the end of the meeting. The word of the day is effulgent. Ooh. Shining brightly, radiant. Effulgent. Effulgent means shining brightly or radiant, such as Kim was hoping for an effulgent morning, and yet it has been cloudy. Mm-hmm. Now I get a point for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Buffy, for explaining your role. You can definitely give us a point for using the word of the day. Next, I'd like to introduce the role of table topic, and that is Justin. Justin, can you explain to us that role?
Yes, my role as table topic is going to be to ask a random question that you get to answer impromptu. We can probably just go around the room one at a time and answer a question. And it'll be 1 to 2 minutes to answer it. And you can either answer it as it's asked, or you can just throw me off and answer it however you feel fit.
Thank you, Justin. Now, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, protocol.
The reason that we do table topic is to allow extemporaneous speaking. Sometimes if we have more members or guests show up, they have an opportunity to have a speaking part and be brave and step up. Thank you again, Justin, for taking on that role. Next is our timer, and our timer is Brandy.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our honored guests today. My job as the timer is to time everyone's speaking roles. We don't time everything, but we time most things. So the first thing that I will explain will be our speech today with Kathy that you're giving, 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5 minutes, Kathy will get the green. At 6 minutes, she'll get the yellow. And at 7 minutes, she'll get the red. And this helps us as we're learning to speak in front of people, like at conferences or different places. Sometimes you only get 10 minutes or you only get 5 minutes. When we have speech contests, we only get 5 to 7 minutes. So it becomes really important. Another example is our table topics, where we speak extemporaneously or off the cuff for 1 to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute you get the green. You just have to make it to the green, just 1 minute. That's what I always tell people when they're first starting out with table topics. And then 1.5, you get the yellow, and then at 2, you get the red. Also with evaluations, 2 minutes green, 2.5 minutes yellow, 3 minutes red. What we do, once you get the red, you can keep going and we'll keep timing you, but you only have like a 30-second grace period. So it's not a big deal unless you're in a contest, and then you can get disqualified if you go over. That is the role of the timer. Back to you, your Toastmaster.
Thank you. Please stay standing. Thank you, Brandy, for explaining your role. I'd like you to stay standing because you have a secondary role that you volunteer for, which is our general evaluator. Can you explain that role to us?
I would love to explain that role, Mr. Toastmaster. The role of the general evaluator is to evaluate the entire meeting from start to finish. Did we start on time? Did we end on time? Were there things that happened in the meeting that were extra special? Were there things that we could work on? I also try to give feedback to some of the roles. Generally, the evaluator of the speech, if there's anything more they could have given to the speaker to help them with their speech, I'll give feedback on that. And other than that, it's just how did we do for our meeting? So back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you again, Brandy, for taking on 2 roles. Is tricky to say the least, to take on 2 roles. You have multitasking involved, which is a skill set that isn't really part of the Toastmasters program, but we learn it because we have to juggle multiple things in our meeting. All right, to the core of our meeting, which is mostly focusing on coming up here and speaking and doing a speech. So we'll move on right to doing a speech, and I like to call up Justin, who's the evaluator of our first speech, to introduce our first speaker. Justin.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. I have the pleasure to introduce Kathy, who's one of our advanced speakers. Always look forward to her speeches. And she is going to give us a speech today titled The Queen of Sheba, Wealth Access.
Ooh.
Looking forward to this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I thought I would wow you with this topic today. And unfortunately, I won't be able to show you the slides as intended. However, I will share with you the score to my wealth alignment scorecard. You can pass around. And on this side, I will show you the 4 stages of how you too can gain access to wealth. And while you're looking at that, I'll share you the background behind this story. The Queen of Sheba, if you're not familiar with some of the biblical stories, she was a queen who brought wealth to King Solomon. I was enamored with her tactics and her strategy for acquiring wealth. I heard a lot about King Solomon, but I didn't really hear a lot about Queen Sheba. Queen Sheba was a queen in her own right, wealthy, full of wealth in the terms of spices, fine jewels, all those things that would be considered wealth. She was intrigued, however, with King Solomon because she heard about how wealthy he was. I believe she originally went there with the intent to show off, to say, I have it going on as well, and I'm just going to show you. In those days, the greater king brought the greater gifts. She brought all these gifts thinking she would be the greatest, kind of like Muhammad Ali. She brought all these gifts thinking, this is me embellishing, okay? I don't know what she was thinking. There's no way I can know. Unless I'm a Trevon or something like that, which I'm not. She brought all these treasures and gifts with the mindset that if she brought it, he would be impressed. And with that impression, he would see her as someone who was on his caliber. However, when she arrived, she saw all of the fine state of his palace, his presence, his servants, his basic amenities were lined with gold and all sorts of fine elements. Even his servants were wealthy. She was stunned. How could this be? She heard all of this. And after she presented all of these gifts, the king did something very stunning. He gave her greater gifts because the greater king brings the greater gifts. She left with lots, and I say lots. I cannot imagine how much she brought, but she brought a litany of wealth with her. She left with so much more than she came with. In this example of the Queen of Sheba, how she brought her gifts to the king, he also imparted into her wisdom, which was the key asset. It wasn't the tangible things, it was the wisdom. Because what he was able to do with how he worked with his servants, how he worked with his peers, how he worked with the Queen of Sheba, he showed her, he gave her access to everything he had and gave her so much more than she could even ask, think, or imagine. She left there with more gifts than she came with, and she left with wisdom. This wisdom he imparted upon her, she was able to take back and use that as a template, which is what I'm using with this access card. With this access card that I've created, I use the framework from the Queen of Sheba to show how you can go from awareness to wealth creation. And there's stages in between. But I just wanted to take a little bit of time to give you a taste and see of the Queen of Sheba and how you too can acquire wealth access. Now, I've been teaching this as part of my 5-day challenge. I'm on day 4 of a 5-day challenge. I have people that have opted in online, and I just wanted to share this with my Toastmaster group here to give you some insight on how you too can create a challenge online, optimize it, and share whatever knowledge base you have to acquire wealth. Having said that, I'm not exactly sure. There we go. Now, if you are interested in taking this scorecard to find out where you line up in this framework, I'll be happy to share that with you. So again, the Queen of Sheba, wealth access. Thank you. I didn't know there was. You did it. Somebody coming up. Thank you. Shot.
Yes. Thank you again, Kathy. You know, I love how a lot of your speech ties in with the biblical study of faith. Personally, that actually impacts me quite a bit because of the tying of two different themes. And so I appreciate it because it's something that I personally follow. Next, we're going to move on to table topics. And I'd like to call up Justin for that.
Think about going around the room. Does anybody not want to do table topics? I'm going to do a different today.
Oh,
Anybody
so you're
not
gonna call
want-
on the person that says they don't?
Are you comfortable doing table topics, Corey?
I think so.
Okay. Well, how about I start with Buffy? We got time. We got plenty of time. How about you pick a question, a number between 1 and 365?
Oh, wow.
We'll start with that. And that'll be your question. You're gonna accidentally pick your question.
Doing math. Let's see. 42.
Oh, that's my favorite number.
Question 42 says, did I turn too far? What is the most desirable trait another person can possess?
Holy cat. What is the most or
The.
the most
The most.
desirable trait? I will say that I think the most desirable trait a person can have is a loving heart. When a person practices that trait, they practice it with a level of compassion, wisdom, understanding, and forgiveness. They do it by carefully listening when they are around other people, being aware of what's going on in their own heads and hearts, and taking their time to discern what is true for what they're experiencing in their own hearts. How is what this interaction that I'm having with other people, how is this reflecting the life I want to lead? How is this reflecting the truth I experience in my spiritual and faith life? Or how is it not reflecting? So that loving heart means loving myself, trusting myself, and knowing that Spirit has my back all the time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a ton.
Same process. Need a number.
My lucky number has always been 11.
Let's see, number 11. Here we go. Do you think crying is a sign of weakness or strength?
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Topic Master, fellow Toastmaster, and honored guest. I personally believe that crying is a sign of strength. Now, culture and modern day society tells us otherwise, that if you cry, you're weak and you're not strong enough. But it takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of emotional power to be strong, realizing that something can impact you in a way where it brings you to tear. That type of emotion and being able to show it openly, I think shows a lot of strength, because it shows that you're vulnerable, it shows that you can care, it shows all other things. And so, with that being said, for me, it's a sign of strength. And there have been multiple times in my life and through family and through timelines, where showing that visible act of crying is actually also healing as well. And I think that is great show of strength. Back to you, Mr. Tabletop.
Thank you. Kathy, you want to do one, or you want to take a break from sheet? What number do you choose this time? 3. What's the most sensible thing you've ever heard someone say?
Great question, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, honored guest. What is the most sensible thing I've heard someone say? I don't know what I'm doing. That is the most sensible thing, because it's honest, it's genuine. A lot of people won't admit it. I think as a society, we can do it all, or we can find out, right? We can look at AI, Chat GPT, knowledge-based systems. But in reality, we don't know. We don't really know how to do whatever the thing is that others think we can do. So that is the most sensible thing I believe someone could ever say is, I don't know. I find myself saying that when I don't really know, because sometimes people think I know, but I don't know. So I will say, I don't really know. I was like, oh,
Well milked. Well milked.
Let's see how this works.
Talk slowly.
You know how to draw it out to the 1 minute mark. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Speak to the green. That's what I heard somebody say.
Lori,
Hey, let's get into something.
Number? Get a number.
We're gonna go
65.
with 13.
Let's do number 13. Do you celebrate the things you do have?
Yeah. Thank you, Justin. Toastmasters, myself as an honored guest. Often enough, I appreciate you bringing up that question about celebrating what it is that I do have. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
What it is I do have. I do. I make time for it. I try to make time for it often, although not enough. When I think of the phrasing of what is it, being thoughtful of what it is that we do have, I think of gratitude. And I think that's something that we as a society don't have enough in this day and age. We have so many luxuries. We have the lights, we have the running water. I mean, the bathrooms and the toilets and just the kindness of everybody around us. But it falls so short on everybody of how great that is that we have that. And so, me as I think about this and as I continue to help others in sharing that, I often tell people, making it a practice every day of waking up in the morning and sharing 3 things that you're grateful for, really goes a long way in just embodying and practicing what it is. So thank you for the time up there.
Appreciate that. Timer?
Yeah.
Brandy, you want to do some?
Blowing up the
Should.
text for people.
We'll answer for you.
Yeah.
Just answer affirmative. Whatever they're asking, say yes, we'll do it.
She said yes, she'd do that.
Tonight at 7. Everybody. It'll be in 5 places. What number would you like?
Well, since Buffy picked my favorite number, which is 42, I'll pick my husband's favorite number, which is 138.
Okay, 138. Let's what your husband have to say to you today.
I'll blame him if it's a hard question.
How would you describe yourself in 1 sentence? In 1 minute.
Yeah.
Wait, how would I describe myself in 1 sentence? Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Masters, fellow Toastmasters, and our honored guest today. I can describe myself in 1 sentence. Can it be a complete sentence? I'm trying to think of like being grammatically correct. I get excited about everything. I think that would be my sentence. It's not the most eloquent sentence, but I find myself having a passion for a lot of things. Sometimes I do get tired. I mean, I'm about to turn 50, so I'm tired more than I used to be, but I get really excited about things. I get into things. It doesn't really matter what the subject is. Invite me to a meeting and I'm going to leave and I'm going to be like, yeah, I want to do that. Snowboarding was a perfect example. I tried snowboarding. I got really beat up doing it, but by the 3rd time that I did it, I loved it and I'm very passionate about it. So I think it's that passion to get excited about things. So that would be the sentence. I think that would describe me. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. It's like we have plenty of time. Around again.
Around again. Do you want to do it?
Oh, sure.
May I take the helm here?
What's your number? Let's do something high, because I usually don't get to the high numbers. What about 225? This is like pulling the cards, but opposite. I'm like on a number.
Read my palm. What is your saddest memory?
Oh.
Saddest memory. Boy, we had to go here today.
You picked it.
A saddest memory. How about I'll just share something sad, recent sad. My 20-year-old son, we moved him out last weekend. You would think that should be exciting. It is exciting. It's a bittersweet. But it's seeing him from a baby, you watch him grow up, and he's big, and he's independent, and he's ornery and mean. Hard for him to move out because he's that age. But it's still sad. It's sad, you see, he lived with somebody for 20 years. go through life together, and then we go on to the next stage, and it's just different. He'll come back, I think. Hope he comes and visits. He's come back once or twice, but that is something that happened recently. And I do have one more son at home, a couple more years, he'll probably be doing the same thing. That is something that's sad. I wouldn't say it's my saddest memory, but it's the most recent sad one.
Right. Well done. You?
Oh, now it's your turn.
Goody
You
goody.
have some insider information.
Yeah.
The questions. Any numbers? Good job.
Well, I would have done 13 too. But how about 68?
68. Thanks for that. What is the simplest truth you can express in words?
Oh, heavens.
There's one. There you go.
Never come.
It's
And I know it's not, I'm gonna have to say it 75 times so I can get my whole minute in there. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guest. What is the simplest truth I can say? What is it?
Oh, 68. Let's see.
Simplest
Truth you can express in words.
In words. Well, I could give you a science of mind prayer. God is all there is. There is only one, and that one is love. We are one of that because God is all there is. So if God is all there is, then I am of that. We are all of that. And because it is power and peace and grace and beauty and love and light, all those things, then I must be that too. Because I am of that, and there's no spot that God is not. So we are all part of that. And I am delighted to be becoming a minister where I get to say that every Sunday. No, I don't have to say it every Sunday, but I can get up in front of a group of people and I can talk about that endlessly.
Nice.
Right.
Way
Thank
to
you.
express that in words.
Put me on the spot and I'll pray for 20 minutes.
That's what table topics is all about, is getting hard questions and being able to answer those, right? At random, because we get those questions frequently, and that's why sometimes it's okay to deviate, I think, if you're not super comfortable with the question. We always feel compelled to answer as we're asked, but not necessarily have to. Kim?
My last one. All right.
Let's see, we got till 37, I think, for evaluator 2, because we don't have evaluator 1, right? I don't want to evaluate.
Lots of time.
We'll go to 37.
Okay.
Lots of time for 2 minutes.
Yes.
Oh,
Number.
wait,
Give me a number.
I need to
What
give you a
number are you
number.
thinking of? Between 1 and 365.
Oh, we'll do 365.
Right.
Courageous.
Last of the last.
So, how would you describe your future in 3 words?
Oh.
Oh. Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmaster, on a guest. Rich, retire, resting. 3 R's. Those 3 words all connected together because my future is the ability to technically rich, financially stable, where I can retire and rest. Throughout life, we all go through the mundane of working, potentially starting a family, having a fun or maybe not a fun job, growing through life, which may be short in different terms, but long to other people. So hopefully in the future, when I turn 55, which is a long ways away, thank goodness, I'll be able to take what I've earned and the experience and be able to retire somewhere where it's nice and warm, and also the ability to travel, and enjoy, and rest, and relax. That is 3 words to describe my future.
Thank you, Ken. I got these questions from Toastmasters
Oh.
and I think they're trying to mess with us because 3 words, but you're supposed to talk for 30 or for a minute.
I did a great
You
job.
did it.
Yeah.
You did a good job and describe yourself in 1 word or 1 sentence. That's good. That's good. You want to go again, Kathy?
Sure. I have to try and get effulgent.
Effulgent.
That's what I was laughing about. I was like, oh, this is a perfect place to use effulgent.
It's 33.
33. If you could choose one book as a mandatory read for all high school students,
Oh my.
which book would you choose?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Honored guest. Fellow Toastmasters, the mandatory read is the Bible. I believe that is a mandatory read not only for the philosophical, historical, spiritual reference. I think it's also good for business. Many people that are entrepreneurs use biblical based principles for wealth creation. It's a secret. It's a secret behind the parables. It's a secret behind the proverbs. It's a secret. It's like a hidden treasure. I think that book, the Bible, would be the mandatory read from Genesis to Revelation, all of the stories, all of the history, all of the things that happened back before Christ and the things that happened after Christ. All of the stories, I think, would give them a historical footprint for what they are to learn in life. Who doesn't want to learn about what's going to happen in the future? I think all of the prophecy, all of that we see today, that is a mandatory read for high school students.
The effulgence of the Bible.
The creator gives us the user's manual, we should use it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Do you want to do one, Corey? One more?
Sure.
What do you think? I think
Why
we can
not?
squeeze one more in.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the effulgent out.
I didn't have a number fixed. We'll go with 40.
Let's go with 40. Here we go. Would you rather be a worried genius or a joyful simpleton?
I think, thank you for inviting me up here, everybody, today. I think for myself, I would rather be a, what was the two again?
It was a worried genius or a joyful simpleton.
Yes, joyful simpleton is definitely for me. I think I've lived a lot of my life as the worry genius, worried about what other people thought of me and this and that. And I felt like it really keeps me confined within a box, right? To not be able to really see the effulgence of life, right? The radiance, the brilliance, the beauty in it. And so I've found, at least for myself, that being able to be joyful and to enjoy the world and all of its pleasures and experience other people and other experiences really brings a sense of beauty that, again, as I was saying earlier, that I feel like now that a lot of people don't have in this day and age. So I think that that's probably the direction that I would go with this question. That's proving to be. So with that, all right, thank you.
Ignorant bliss, right? That's
I know, it really is.
all right. Well, I think time's up.
Well done, sir.
Thank you, Justin. What an effulgent meeting that we had. It was so colorful and bright. Wonderful. Justin, I'd like to call you up back here though, because it's time for you to evaluate our speaker.
All right. I'm gonna evaluate our excellent speaker, Kathy, today, and I'm gonna not only use an evaluation resource from our website, I'm also gonna use some advice I received last week from my evaluator on her. So that's really good about Toastmasters. You get feedback from others. It's really helpful, and I do appreciate everybody's feedback when they evaluate me and mention the things I can work on. So definitely a group effort on me evaluating Kathy today. I appreciate the opportunity. Kathy, was a very great speech. I always enjoy you speaking. You come up with some great subjects. You tie them into real world stuff that apply to us today, it being wealth and how to create wealth based on a biblical Queen of Sheba figure and how that worked and how we can work that in today. So some things, again, you did a really good job explaining it, good background. Some things you might want to work on is I noticed at one point you look back when the door slammed, that little sidetrack where normally you're pretty focused. Also, towards the end, you lost the train of thought, and then you ended seemed a little more abruptly than normal. And then something to challenge yourself, give time to review the handouts. We got the handouts, and might have been useful for me to spend some time going over it, or at minimum, given some time to look it over before proceeding, maybe pausing or doing something like that. Because as I was looking at that, I wasn't able to listen during that time period. So those are some things to work on. Great background, you elaborated well, very good facial expressions. I really enjoyed your hand gestures. You had some really good voice fluctuation. The way you described things was very image inducing for me. So I was able to actually picture what you were talking about. And then I really liked the way you described the story and who Sheba was and how it applied. It really brought that to life. And then you tied it into the creation of wealth and how we can apply those principles into today. And you also gave us a hanger so that we ask for more. So we go to your seminar and say, hey, is there more to this? I think you did a really good job of leaving it on that note. So we're more interested in coming to what you have to say more. So preparing us for the next series, or maybe go online and not just end right here versus giving us the whole story. So it was a good intro. Very nice job at that. And I really enjoyed hearing it. And I hope to hear more about creating wealth based on the principles of the Queen of Sheba, who is a biblical character.
I was so enthralled with your evaluation, I lost track of that. Leading the meeting. Right, evaluation. So next, I think we are going to close it up by bringing Brandy up to give us a general evaluation of the whole overall meeting. Brandy.
2 to 3 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I have to say that I was so enthralled with Justin's evaluation that I forgot to time. I was like, I did so good up until now. So I just gave you a minimum of 3 minutes.
Okay.
For
I was waiting for the card.
But I will give the timer's report after I give the general evaluation for the meeting. For the general evaluation of the meeting, I thought we did a wonderful job of starting on time, sticking to the agenda, being cognizant of time. That was really good. I enjoyed how we welcomed our guest and were able to incorporate him into our meeting today. That was really good. And I felt like we did a good job of explaining the roles. That's always really helpful, not only for our guests, but for us to have a chance to speak. Every time we get up here and speak, it's a chance to articulate ourselves and to get better at our craft. And for Justin's evaluation, again, because I was so enthralled with it, I really don't have a lot that I would change. I liked your introduction of not only showing that you were using a resource from the Toastmasters website, which is really helpful to remind folks that those resources are out there, but also explaining how you incorporated information from the last time you were evaluated and how evaluations can really help us grow as speakers. So great job. I liked how you used the term hanger, but I was also thinking we like to have kind of a take-home message. So maybe a little bit of a take-home message too with her speech might have been a little bit of advice we could have given. But other than that, it was an excellent evaluation. And again, I thought it was a great meeting. and wonderful use of the word of the day to our guest. That was spot on. With that, I am running out of time. So I will move on to the timers report, which is also me. Thank you for timing me, Buffy. Lots of table topics here. Buffy, your first table topics was 1 minute and 45 seconds, followed by your second table topics, which was 1 minute and 16 seconds. Kim, your first was 1 minute and 23 seconds, followed by your second one of 1 minute and 9 seconds. Kathy, you had 103 and 108. Nice job sticking to the green. Corey, you had 1 minute and 22 seconds and 1 minute and 3 seconds. And I will say your table topics were some of the best I've ever heard a guest do. So congratulations. I had 1 minute and 17 seconds, and Justin, you had 1 minute and 7 seconds. And then, as I said, your evaluation was perfect at 3 minutes. And then Kathy, your speech today was 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Wonderful job. We had a very effulgent meeting.
Oh,
Oh,
got it in there.
there. I feel like I should get a half point though.
Yeah.
It's kind of throwing in there last minute. With that, I would like to call you up, Buffy, to give our Auburn Meridian report.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters and honored guest. This is a challenge for me, this whole, remembering how to say it and what to say, and protocols. We're pretty good about it, about remembering to applaud to all these different layers of protocol. And it requires a memory that isn't something I'm very strong with. I will start with the word of the day. I had one, Brandy had one, Kim had one, and Corey had one. Bravo. Very effulgent expression, effulgent. The fillers, Kathy, I loved your words. This is under fillers, but it's Kathy. I will just reflect that I loved Queen of Sheba, enamored. I have got it. I have it going on as well. You spoke of Queen Sheba saying that. I just love that. I also liked Muhammad Ali as a reference. The word caliber jumped out at me. He gave her access. I liked that understanding that he gave her access to all of his wealth and his wisdom. And that's a powerful understanding thing. I just wanted, you used that phrase twice during your talk, and I just want to point out that it's a filler, right? They kind of detracted a little bit. I also loved when you were told, when you had the table topic, what sentence? I don't know what I'm doing. It's just excellent, very excellent. Thank you. Kim, your evaluation, this was table topic, I think. Emotional strength, healing, and you had really great body language when you gave your 4 R's. Rich, retired, and resting. You knew right away. This was just download from spirit, clearly. Corey, you had only 2 ums. It's just astonishing for a rookie.
Yeah.
Very, very astonishing. And 2 you knows. And don't know what the context was, but I wrote in a box. So you used that phrase, and that caught my attention. Justin, no comments whatsoever. Gold star.
Wow.
And Brandy, only one for you, was cognizant. I just liked how you used that word. I think that's all. Yeah. That's all I had. Now, do I carry on? Or does it get turned back to one of you?
I think it goes back to Justin as our
All
VP
right.
of Education,
All right.
filling in
Back
for
to
Robin.
Justin.
All right. Great meeting. Lots of fun. I like that come to these. We all help out. We all fill roles. We're a small enough group. Everybody gets an opportunity to do something every meeting. So that's really good. Table topics is fun. That's enjoyable to go around second 2 rounds. That's always fun. Different ways of doing it. So that was lots of fun. And that was very enjoyable. next thing is one thing I've been meaning to ask, how'd the speech contest go? You want to share about that a little bit, Brandy? Last I heard, there weren't enough judges.
We made it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I did have to, should I come up and
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
if you
it?
don't mind.
I can.
We have some few minutes.
I can do it for a few minutes. There was a couple in Spanaway that had gotten to a car accident. They were fine, but they didn't have a ride there. So I went and picked up Buffy and Lacey, and then I went and picked up this couple in Spanaway.
Not me.
Oh, did I say Buffy?
Yeah.
I meant to say Robin.
Oh.
He's right at you.
You didn't go? I don't remember getting picked
This is
up.
awkward.
I remember.
Actually, I was at the airport.
There you go. So I picked up Robin and Lacey, and then I went and picked up this couple in Spanaway. And then we got to this the library. It was at a library in Milton Edgewood. I've never been to Milton Edgewood. And so the whole trip was interesting because there's parts of the state I hadn't driven in. We drove around Joint Base Lewis McChord on the eastern side to get to Spanaway. So it was kind of an adventure. We got there. It went really well. All the speeches were so good. So for a little context, Corey, every year there is an international speech contest that starts at the club level and goes all the way up to the world's best speaker. And it's really cool because as you're listening to these speeches, they're so passionate and they've been practicing and they're so good. And in 2017, some of us, I don't know if anybody here went to the Toastmasters International Speech Contest in Vancouver, BC. And those speeches were like out of this world good. I mean, it's just like the hair was standing up on your skin and you were just like, oh, these speeches are so good. And they're going to be there, I think, again, maybe this year or next year. So maybe we could go as a club. Anyway, it was
a trainer.
Yeah, it was a fun trip. We have a little money in our account, so we could use that to kind of help us get up there if anybody wanted to go just to see it. But back to the contest, there's the International Speech Contest, which every year is just an original speech that folks come up with that's inspiring. And there's ways to get the most points, try to get it within the time limit, use a prop, use the stage, all the things. There's also another contest that doesn't go all the way to the international. And this year it was humorous. So there were two folks that did a humorous speech. They were great. Last year it was evaluation contest. It was like how good. No, it was table topics last year because I competed in that. And then there is evaluation contests. So there's these other contests that happen too. But it's just really fun because really the point of Toastmasters is to become a better speaker and get involved in your club. But if you want to, you can take it all the way to this other level. And it's really kind of cool to experience the whole thing. So it went well. Unfortunately, I was coming down with a cold, so I had to wear a mask. But I was contest chair, so organizing everything was a lot. It was pretty stressful, like just getting to that point. But once we were there, it all worked really well. And it was a village effort because I was the contest chair, but another area director, she was the lead judge. And so the chief judge does so much work to get everything ready. And then we had a Toastmaster. Mikey, who's one of our division directors for Toastmasters, was the Toastmaster. And so it all just really came together in a beautiful way. But I was exhausted when it was over. And Robin won. So Robin is from our club. She is our president, actually, for our club. And she won for our area. So now she'll go on to division, which I think April 4th is the contest. And all of these contests, there's opportunities if anybody wants to come as a judge or come as a sergeant of arms or come and just watch. It's really kind of cool. And a lot of times they are also on Zoom. So if you couldn't make it in person, you could watch it on Zoom. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Would I do it again? I don't know. It's so stressful getting it all ready. But now I know how to do it, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But anyway.
How many, just out of curiosity, how many people were there?
There was probably about 50.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so enough people, and then there were some folks from the division and Toastmasters International, actually. We had some dignitaries there from high up in Toastmasters, so it was kind of like, oh, you know, a little more pressure,
Right.
but it was really fun. It's just really cool to see people giving their all in a speech and just putting it all out there on the stage. And all the speeches were so inspiring. And so you leave just being like, oh, you're just like so full of, you know, excitement and yeah, potential. So
Nice.
anyway,
Thank you.
that's how it went.
All right, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, next, Corey, you want to share anything about yourself today, or how'd you find us? What you think?
Sure. Do I need to come up there to do it?
No, you can sit right there.
Okay. Yeah, so many of you I've met. I'm Corey Baum. I worked in tech all of my life, and it wasn't until I think 2 years ago now I transitioned from tech into coaching. And so I own a business coaching confidence and social skills. So really around social anxiety, people pleasing, overthinking, but not just kind of the soft skills. I'm not even sure which direction it goes, but also the skill of the technique and skills of navigating the conversation. And so I've been doing that for about a year now. I've done two different things. I spent a year supporting just men, running men's groups, things like that, and then transitioned into this, which is more something that I'm more closely passionate about. I mean, I'm passionate about the men's work as well, but this is one that I work on every day. So, super excited to be here. I'm looking for more opportunities to today was great to express myself in the moment because I can find it really difficult to. I have a lot of things in my mind. If I sit down and have a conversation with somebody, I can talk forever. One of the more challenging parts for me is doing it on my own as I'm starting to do social media and things like that. Of like knowing what it is that I think about something is interestingly hard. And so I was looking for opportunities
Yeah.
to come and to talk and to practice like the entire spectrum for me of what it is that I'm so passionate about. So it was a great experience today. You guys knocked it out of the park. Your speech was great. And yeah, look forward to doing more.
Great, thanks. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Seems like we have a lot to learn from you as well as you
Yeah.
can learn from this experience.
I don't know. We'll see.
We learn from each other.
Yeah.
We've all learned from each other. Yeah.
Mhm.
We've had a guest, and the reason we have the mic here is somebody commented on Zoom, a guest, about not hearing us. So even the small things we just get accustomed to. So it's nice to have everybody's perspective.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to fill roles, or anybody
Yeah.
excited to jump in?
Recording.
For next week? Time is probably up, but if we want to fill roles now.